You're still on to iBrand Daybreak. Now the next topic says no fewer than 6,068 medical doctors moved to the United Kingdom since the regime of the President Muhammadu Buhari started in 2015. According to data obtained from the General Medical Council of the United Kingdom, the total number of Nigeria-trained doctors who migrated to the UK as of August 30, 2022 stood at 10,096. This is excluding Nigerian doctors who got medical qualifications in schools outside the country. Presently, Nigeria has the third highest number of foreign doctors working in the UK after India and Pakistan. Some stakeholders have described this brain drain as a menace bedeviling the health sector. Dr. Relocated is right here with us to make sense of these conversations. Now, it's indeed a menace that has bedeviled the health sector. We don't even have enough hands, we don't have infrastructures, we don't even have bed spaces, and yes, our trained medical personnel who are supposed to help salvage some of the situations keep moving every single time. Now, the question would have been what can be done, but a lot of time we've spoken about what can be done, and solutions have been prescribed, and yet nothing is still being done because people still migrate every now and then. But still, we ask again, what is the way to finally curb this, if there is actually a way to curb it?
You see, curbing this wouldn't have been an issue if only Nigeria has been having a good leadership in place. If only the greed of our leaders had not been extended to be affecting the infrastructures that are supposed to be in place for all the sectors of the economy. Because as is, it is not only the doctors. Not only the doctors. It's just that this is becoming more pronounced because of the importance of doctors in the society. Okay? Because we always say health is wealth. Even lawyers are living in droves. Lecturers are now living in droves. I was discussing with a friend of mine who happens to be a researcher in Nigeria before traveling to the US, I think about a year and a half or 2 years ago. And I was telling him the kind of dilapidation that is now at the institute which he used to be. I just sent a message. Just back from this, I was at so place, and for goodness sake, I felt bad as regards the way I saw this place. Under 10 minutes, the guy called me, and we spoke for almost 15 minutes. Do you understand? The whole system is rotten, and the leadership is enjoying it. I'm telling you this. It's not that they don't know. The Baba Buhari that travels to UK for his medical tourism, who are the people that are treating him there? Are they not Nigerians? They are Nigerians. Why are those Nigerian doctors in UK not treating you here? Why? Most of our leaders that travels there, Nigerians, treat them. All right? So, who is telling you that they want it improved? No, they don't want it. Because they want to subjugate the whole population to some kind of hardship that will not allow them to get themselves emancipated. So, but for it to be solved, the whole thing the whole onus rests on the people.
Looking at this stats, I mean, over 6,000 doctors, moving to the UK since 2015. That's a 7-year plus span. Now, the report has, is stating explicitly this is just doctors. You've not added, your nurses to it, basically your medical personnel and what have you. But as at April this year, the NMA president, Innocent Uja, disclosed that within 2 years, over 9,000 doctors had left Nigeria for UK, US, and Canada. Remember, this start
even to the Emirates.
This start has to do with just the UK doctors only. As of April, the NMA president, Professor Innocent Uja at the time, said it's had to do over 9,000 doctors, had gone to UK, US, Canada. Now, these huge numbers we're seeing in terms of brain drain within the health sector is just about the doctors. By the time you add, your nurses and all other medical personnel, we're looking at probably 15,000-20,000 of our medical personnel living within the span of probably 2-3 years thereabout. This has left the health sector in shambles, especially, the ratio of a doctor to patients and all of that, which is in terms of the standard by the UN. Now, for all of the concerns or, questions we raise when it comes to issues of maybe bed space, lack of infrastructure in our health sector, the personnel are really important. They're probably even more important than facilities. If we continue, with this trend, where does that leave our health sector? Because right now it looks like we don't even have one. But if this trend continues in another 2 years, there's the possibility that we barely even have, qualified doctors to treat ourselves when it comes to, Nigeria.
It's like I said, it's not only even doctors. The whole country is in a state of quagmire. Okay? The whole country is in a state of quagmire, of which the doctors are also an integral part of that happenstance. All right? Of which ASU, the lecturers, are also an integral part of it. Have you forgotten, was it last year or so, the strike of, is it called Jesu? You understand? Those in the medical doctors,
Yeah.
the technicians in the medical line,
Labs and all.
in the labs, then that of the doctors combined with the nurses, combined. Do you understand? Was it last year or year before the last that nearly collapsed the health sector? And we are all witnesses to the shambolic way in which the government handled that situation. Even at that, Papa Buhari'S traveled out. Some of our leaders traveled out. This former governor that is now a senator, I don't know whether he's still in the Senate or not, that had an accident in Abuja, slight accident. Akpabio traveled abroad. When the president's son had a bike accident,
Yusuf.
outside the country. So what are you talking about? Even in Nassau Rock there, we had Mama Aisha saying that ordinary needle and the wool, cotton wool, were not there. Are we saying all those things were not budgeted for within the fiscal year? Because year in, year out, there's one budget or the other for all those sectors. Where has that money been kept? So, Samson, all these things are intentional. There is no amount of solutions that we are offering that they will listen to until when, and we continue to say it, until when the people decide on their own that enough is enough. We ain't going to get to anywhere, honestly. We ain't going to get to anywhere.
The intriguing thing about this report, or these reports, because we've had several of them over the last, months and years, is that these are successful, folks that have emigrated. That those who have probably tried to also emigrate, but fell short, probably the last hurdle or what have you. I'm talking about doctors and nurses.
Sorry, let me. Sorry, when you are talking about successful, have you seen AGMs? Assistant General. I'm not saying assistant manager. Assistant General managers of reputable banks. Selling all their properties and moving out to the US, to Canada, to go and be doing what? I have seen. There's one man I mentioned here. Anybody can Google his name. Dr. Onigbinde, Joseph Onigbinde. Is a world-renowned hepatitist. All right? He tried as much as possible to work with the Ministry of Health in this country to bring in his expertise. His hospital then was at Egbeda. I know the hospital. Around this time, even the guy traveled last year, November stroke early December, back to Canada. Why? Because each time we are together, we say, Dr. K, he always crying. All right? But now, check out, you can Google Dr. Onigbinde. And these are the kind of people that has lost. I was talking to him middle last week. He said, I will call you back because he went to the US for a consultancy job, but be back in Canada by I think Friday or so. I mean, that's the way it now works. Will such a person not be happy with himself? Do you know how many people are now on the streets having mental health issues? You see somebody well dressed and will be talking to himself or herself on the streets. Why? Because of the system. Do you know how many people, graduates, well-educated people, well-learned people, that die every day because of psychological issues? Do you understand? And these people, they still believe that, yes, they want to be on top of their game. They think of nothing or nothing other than to get themselves institutionalized, including their families. You see them, after leaving this position, they move to another position and then put their child there, a governor, who has now moved to the Senate, the daughter in House of Reps, the son, now jostling to become the governor. I mean, what do we call that? Tell them to show their certificates. They be bringing up NEPA bills. But then he be telling you something. They want to see your certificates. And then you must have 6 years experience. What experience has their children got? And these are people that will be in top positions. So what do you think they can offer? They can't offer no jack. And that's the situation we have found ourselves. There's no amount of discussions. There's no amount of solutions you are offering these people. Not until when you and I decide to say, enough is enough. Listen, we're getting nowhere.
But the change we seek in terms of, probably through electoral means.
Which change?
I'm talking about.
Did you define when you wanted to send away? When you wanted to send away GEJ, they were talking about change. Did you ask them the kind of change they were bringing? No,
that's not the kind of change I'm talking about. Not that mantra. I'm saying the change we seek, in various sectors of the polity to address the various challenges. For example, the health sector in terms of the brain drain now. The change we seek so that we'll be able to retain, the best of minds and hearts that we have. That change won't just come as a result of, one cycle of elections where we get to elect leaders.
No.
It's systematic.
It's now going to be gradual.
So what are the various steps we need to take to get to that point?
Great. As is now, we have some major contenders for presidency. Number one, we have Abubakar Atiku. We have Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have Kwakwanso, we have Peter Obi, and we have a host of others. That place cannot be in vacuum. So we now need to assess each and every one of them. For instance, we don't need somebody that we want to railroad himself. We don't need somebody who will be persecuting people. We don't need anybody that we think that position is for somebody, for people to now say, because we have done this and this in the past, oh yeah, go there. Rather, we need somebody who is cool-headed. We need somebody who will be compassionate. All right? We need somebody who will have character. We need somebody with experience. All right? We need somebody with experience. Listen, when you mention any of those names, their supporters will say, this one is this one is that, this is this. Yes, they are all the same. But the issue is this, Samson. Have we ever, I always ask people, look, anytime I ask people, they laugh. Have we ever seen a virgin in the labor room before? No. There's no way you will go to labor room. Abi? Spanish margarita. Now you are smiling. Anytime I call you Maggie, you have not been answering. But now that I know your name very well, Spanish margarita. See you now smiling. Is it possible for us to see a virgin in the labor room? No. But there are still grades.
Mary was an example, though. But let's move on.
Don't let me give you an example.
Well, finish it.
We still have grades. Some have been there 6 times.
Okay.
Some have been there 10 times. Some are just going there for the very first time. Some 2 times. So we have grades. So also, when we are also talking about the devils, we also have grades. We still have some that will be a bit compassionate. That will say, we have some that say, okay, don't let me kill him, but let me just reduce his distance so that I won't be, okay? There are some that will say, okay, I'm going to kill him. There are some that will say, okay, I will not kill him, but I will make him to be as if somebody is not existing at all.
So it's about choosing the lesser evil?
Devil's alternative. The first among equals.
But even if you
now, when we are now able to do that,
please, let me come in, please. Even if you have a leader that is compassionate and
that has character,
that is willing to bring about reforms to all of these sectors of the polity that is facing so much of challenges in terms of brain drain and what have you. Those policies, the person can act in isolation. You still need strong legislations. And
I'm still coming now. I will get there. You know, I'm building it from.
Okay, the
down.
basic. Okay.
Yeah, but when we now have such, let me give you an instance of character capacity. You might have capacity and not have character.
Okay.
Look at the Adamu. What's his professional degree? Is he not a professor?
Yes.
Was he not once a teacher? That means he has capacity, but does he have character? No. The way he addressed his students the other time, no, he didn't put character there at all. The way he's dealing with us now, is that character? No. So we are talking about character here. Yes, experience. Yes, technical know-how. But how about character? That thing must be there. Coming up with fiscal policies that has human feelings.
Okay.
Policies that has human feelings. Not about all this, yes, it must be me. No, this is my ambition. No, do you get? Now, let us leave that. 2, the people, whoever you are following, okay? Whoever you are following, you must also add value to whatever he is saying he wants to do now. Because let me tell you this, Samson. You were leaving your house. Let's say you are living at Banana Island. Maybe you are living at Banana Island, Abby. You are coming from Banana Island this morning.
Okay.
You have already designed your route. Yes, you leave that place. You enter this place. You enter Tomiland Bridge. Then you come to Beggar here under the bridge. come to this place. Okay? If somebody now meets you at somewhere like Adekunle area,
Okay.
on the Adekunle area of the Tomeland Bridge, and say, oh, Samson, look at this. Why don't you pass through Yaba? This is and that, because of this, because of that. Will it be possible for you to do that immediately? No. And that person will now be looking at you. What's wrong with Samson? This is not Samson of yesterday. But if that person had told you this last night, or even shortly before leaving your house, you might have enough time to consider this and that, and then put his own into what you are planning. What I'm saying in essence is this, and that's where I always have problems with labor unions like ASU, NLC, NMA, MBA, whatever they are, even CSO. To what extent have you been coming up with some solutions, with some strategic plans to assist the incoming government, so that all those things can be inculcated into the plans they are bringing to execute? Look at this government now. At that time, they were just chanting, 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 chanting change, change, change. But the CSOs, the labor unions, everybody, they were now saying, hey, yes, we want change. What kind of change? Did you define the change then? When they were telling you that they're going to do this and that, did you ask them, how are you going to achieve this? What are your action plans? What are your timelines? So that is the area where the people now need to concentrate on. Electioneering campaign is still ahead, so we still have enough time to do this. So when we are able to do that, even those that are going to houses of legislator would have been able to imbibe all those and say, yes, we are going to make also legislations along these lines.
Hey, Dr. Dayo, some of the statements you mentioned, electioneering campaigns are coming up. September 25th, I guess, is the date allocated for the startup of that.
For presidential.
Yeah, presidential.
Governorship will come thereafter before.
Yeah, but then we know that the presidential is where the seat of power is. A lot of people have come up to say so many things. How can you even detect the lies from the actual truth? Because people can still come and say, okay, whatever we need, they play by what we need. They come up to say, because we know those people need this, okay, they come to say we can't even detect where the lie is and where the truth lies. So at what point are we even supposed to even understand the fact that these people have like you always mention, impoverished us and still capitalize on the poverty to make promises to give us food, which is what we are expecting in the campaign season already.
Spanish Margarita.
Margaret's better.
Spanish Margarita.
For the sake of the show, Margaret is fine.
I can understand your passion from that particular question. Honestly speaking, I can feel you. I can feel that question, you brought that question from the inside of you. And I will appreciate if you allow me to explain it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay? You see, we are all human beings. Okay? And nobody is perfect. Nobody is immutable. And nobody is immune against some tricks. And that's why sometimes I do ask people, do we need politricers or political thinkers? They are two different things. When you see a trickster, you will have known from his antecedents. When you see somebody who thinks, who is reserved, and then does things, do you understand, in a conceptual manner, you will have also known from his antecedents. So, you will be able to know who to pally, like pally agro. You will know who to pally look at, you call it Pali Agro because of what you produce. People appreciate it. So you are now saying, yeah, Pali our agro. Okay? So you now know who to Pali. When you Pali such a person, it's not that that person is perfect. Because is a polythinker. Because is somebody with not just capacity, but somebody who has feelings. He'll be able to see, even if not totally, at least to some level, to some extent, to which, because all we are looking for now, who among them can we Pali that will be able to build a new foundation for this country? Because it is only when we have now a new foundation, a new basis, that we can now say, okay, let us continue to build structures on that particular foundation. Do you understand? There is, like I said, there is no virgin in the labor room. You cannot detect who among them are this. But from their antecedents, even though they are not perfect, you'll be able to determine who you can. Like for me now, I have my own passion for somebody. So that I won't be as if, do you get? Mm-hmm. I have my own passion. Why is I have studied his character. I have studied his remaining on a particular lane since 1992. That he came to political scene in this country. I've been following his consistency. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. I've been following his consistencies. Okay? Even though I'm not saying he's a perfect human being. No. But you look at antecedents. You do some background checks. And what I've been doing is sending him through some of the people that are close to him, sending him my own thoughts as regards the needs of the people. How do I get the needs of the people? From what we discuss here, and then the feedback from the people.
Dr. Dayo, for the want of time, just a nice place to wrap this up.
Yes.
You explained what you needed to explain in this conversation.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you.
I also appreciate always coming around with you. My Spanish Margarita.
Interesting. This name you found that. I just hope
yes,
we don't use it
because I found out that when somebody called you Margarita, you smile. Somebody now came and said Spanish Margarita. You now you put energy into it. Anytime I be calling you Maggie, you just
Maggie for your time and our time.
So I now know I've gotten your key today.
All right, Dr. Dayo, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Miriam. Thank you very much for having me.
We've had an amazing conversation with Dr. Dayo Kayode from the crude oil theft from the ASU strike, from the paper review segment to the crude oil theft, and now to the brain drain in the medical system. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll go into the sports segment, social media buzz, and then we'll wrap up the show for the day. Please stay with us.